For today's cook, we're going to make taco spice chicken quesadillas. Hi everyone, this is James from Barbechoo.com and welcome back to another cook video on the channel. And today we're doing quite a simple one. We're going to make chicken quesadillas. We're going to do a taco seasoning for the chicken, and then we're going to fry off some veg and get them all inside some tortillas with a little bit of cheese, and they're going to be good. So as far as prep goes for this cook, you can get all the different elements ready beforehand. The cook's quite a quick one, so it's good to have everything to hand so you can just cook it all quickly and you're not running around looking for things. So the first thing we're going to prepare are the veg. So the veg for this quesadilla are quite simple. There's one red bell pepper, so you just de-seed that and slice it into long strips. You can dice it up, but I found in quesadillas it's better to have them in them longer strips. They don't tend to fall out as much. We're also then going to add in one red onion, so again slice that and leave it to one side, and that's your veg prep. There's not much more you need to do with them. So for me, quesadillas need some kind of sauce with them as well. So we're actually doing a spicy Sriracha mayonnaise for this one. It couldn't be easier. It's literally 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise and then 1 heaped teaspoon of Sriracha Hot Sauce. Give them a mix up. Make sure and taste it. If you want it a little bit hotter, you can add more of the Sriracha into it. If you don't want it as hot, then scale that back a little bit. For me, the 1 heaped teaspoon seems to be enough for that a quantity of mayonnaise, so give it a try, make it to how you like it. So next up to prepare is the taco seasoning for the chicken. You can use an off-the-shelf taco seasoning certainly, but a taco seasoning is really simple to make. So in a large jar you want to add 2 tablespoons of chili powder, half a teaspoon of garlic granules, half a teaspoon of onion granules, half a teaspoon of crushed chili flakes, half a teaspoon of dried oregano, 3 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of sea salt, and 2 teaspoons of crushed black pepper. Give that all a good mix around and leave it to the side. There's enough to do this recipe to coat the chicken and also to do a little bit in with the veg, but there'll be extra there, so if you want to make more of it so you have a supply of it, just double or triple those quantities. The little bit that's left over in this, I'll just store that in an airtight container and it'll be there the next time I want to use it. So the last thing to prepare then before you start the cook is your chicken. So I'm using chicken breast for this one, and as I say, these are only quesadillas for myself, so I'm only using 1 whole chicken breast. So slice that into long thin strips. You could cook it whole, but you want to get that taco seasoning onto all sides, so the more surface area you have to add that to, the better. Once it's sliced into long strips, then go ahead and thread that onto skewers. It makes it a little bit easier to handle on the barbecue, and it makes it easier to get it on and off. As far as barbecue setup goes, we're cooking everything over a direct heat today. We're also going to use a large skillet to do the veg in, and then we'll make the quesadillas in that same skillet. So I'm using a little Go-Anwyhere today. You just light up one of the portable chimney starters worth of lumpwood charcoal and spread that across the bottom of the Go-Anwyhere. If you're using a kettle or something like that, you want a nice sort of medium to high direct heat. So the first thing we want to cook off is the veg, so we'll go ahead and get the skillet pre-warming on top of the Go-Anwyhere, and then we can add some oil to it and get the veg in to start cooking. Once your skillet's up to temperature, then you might go ahead and add a bit of olive oil to it just to stop anything sticking. So you don't need to go too much, just enough to coat the pan. Anytime I'm cooking with cast iron, I always give the pan a wipe down with oil first. So just add in enough to cook and move it around until it cooks at the bottom of the pan. So we don't want a screaming hot temperature with this, we just want it sort of medium to high. So once your oil has come up to temperature, go ahead and add in the veg. So the aim of these veg is to try and soften them down slightly. We're not really looking to get a massive colour on them. You don't need to be moving them about constantly, just spread them out over the base of the pan, let them sit for a few seconds and then start moving them again. after a couple of minutes, once you see the onions and the pepper starting to sweat a little bit, we want to go ahead and season them a little. So we're going to use some more of the taco seasoning we made up earlier on. Just give everything a good liberal coating of it. Again, as these start to soften down, then they'll take the flavours of the taco seasoning on. Once everything's softened down nicely, the onions are nice and translucent, the peppers are nice and soft, and they're all well coated in the seasoning. You can go ahead and lift that off then and put it into a bowl. So once you have your veg done, then you want to go ahead and clean out that skillet, and we're going to use that again later on to do the quesadillas in. The next thing to go on then is the chicken, and then we're ready to start building these up. So on the Go-Anwyhere, I've removed the cooking grate, and as these are on skewers, I'll just balance them on the edge over the coals, and we'll cook them until they're an internal temperature of 75 degrees C. Once your chicken has reached an internal temperature of 75 degrees Celsius, then you can go ahead and lift it off and put the cooking grates back onto the Go-Anwyhere and get your skillet on to heat up again, because we're going to start building up the quesadillas in the skillet. So once your skillet has come up to temperature, we've just brushed it lightly with another little bit of oil, just enough to coat the bottom of it. So we're going to go ahead and put everything together now. So you go in with your corn flour tortilla wrap. You need to move pretty quick once you put these in. So down with a layer of cheese, go in with some of our grilled veg, and our chicken we have sliced up into long strips. Finally on with some of our Sriracha mayonnaise. More cheese. Next thing what to do is go ahead, fold that over, flip on this side. It doesn't take long for them to crisp up. Just give it a few more seconds on the other side. Keep checking it underneath until we've got sort of the same brown colour on it. Yeah, that's looking good, so we'll go ahead and lift that off and we'll get it all plated up. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and that is taste it. So you can see the nice gooey cheese, the mayonnaise, nice soft veg. Give it another dunk in the Sriracha mayo. The tortillas have crisped up really well with the cast iron, and that taco seasoning has a nice little kick of heat to it. Nothing too crazy. It was mild chili powder I used in it, so if you want something hotter, use a hot chili powder. That mayonnaise is really nice. veg are nice and soft. They're just such an easy thing to make, but they're so full of flavour. I also have here then a little sort of corn salsa. I have a recipe for that on the website. I'll leave the link below for it if you want to try it out. But definitely it's the first time doing quesadillas in the skillet, so I'll leave a link for the skillets below as well on Amazon. But I've done them on pizza stones before, but to me the cast iron just works out a little bit better. Right, I'll finish this video so I can go and eat them. So if you like the recipe, I have left a link to it down below, so you don't have to watch the video all over again. There's a link down to my website where the full recipe is on. Check that out, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.